that's how you feel.
Try to clap my
But
cheeks, or
I am a woman of standard, and um, I make decisions that are best for me.
all right, guys, gotta talk about a follow-up video from the Pop the Balloon show. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and play the viral clip, and then we're gonna get into the follow-up to see if they actually went on a date or not.
Okay, awesome.
Right. So Candy,
Yes.
is it a yes for you for him?
It is.
Well, let's go ahead and dive right into the juicy topic at hand that everyone is here just dying and waiting to know. Since you guys ended up matching, have you gone on a date?
Candy, you want to take it?
We've hung out a few times.
Oh, okay. All right, walk me through the first date. When was it? Where'd you go? What'd you do?
I was trying to make the first date right after the episode ended, and I knew Candy had a flight back to Charlotte, and I was doing everything in my power to get that flight moved. So let me tell you,
Candy, why would you book your flight right after the show?
Thank you.
I had something to do. It was already planned. It wasn't on me.
Okay. So obviously it didn't happen right after the show. So when was the first date?
So I actually have some cases in North Carolina, and those are actually my next cases that are coming up for trial. And so I actually had already on my schedule to go to Asheville and Hendersonville for some depositions that I was taking the next week. So I told Candy about this, and I said, you know what, I'm going through North Carolina. Why don't we meet up in Charlotte and take you out and do a date? So we did it the week following the show. Okay. And in that interim, we were talking every day. Communication was great. In constant communication throughout the day. So ended up going in Charlotte. We went to a museum and then out to dinner.
Okay, nice. How was that first date for you, Candy?
I feel it went well. One of the questions that Jason asked me on the show is if I was high maintenance, and hopefully the first date showed that I wasn't. Like he mentioned, we went to a museum, got some food, got a drink, super simple, but we talked for a very long time and got to know each other a little bit better. So I would say it went well.
Okay. So now after that, how was everything? How long were you in North Carolina? Did you guys hang out again while you were out there? Did you have to fly back? Like, what was the next steps after that?
I was there for a couple of days. We only hung out that day. And then I was actually supposed to be back 2 weeks following that. So I think we had, tentative plans to see each other again when I was coming back. Okay. And then again, we were talking every single day throughout the day until the next time that we could see each other. I ended up, I think one of the cases settled, and so I didn't have to go to North Carolina. And because we had sort of established a nice rapport at this time, I said, well, why don't I fly you out here, put you up in a hotel, and we'll hang out for a weekend and have a good time. And that's exactly what we did.
Okay. And where are you again right now? You're in Virginia?
Virginia, yeah.
Virginia. Okay. So, Candy, he flew you out to Virginia?
He did.
Okay.
He did.
How was that? Tell me about it.
It was interesting.
Interesting good? Interesting bad? What does that mean?
I feel like we got to know a little bit more about one another. But ultimately, I do feel like we had a good time.
All right. So how long were you out?
What does that mean? What does that mean? You guys had a good rapport, keying, right? You guys were texting every single day. Okay, he was saying that it was very, very frequent, building that up. He decided to fly you out, put you in a hotel, and let's continue here. Okay, I'm not liking her response here. It seems like she's kind of holding back a little bit, but let's keep going.
For the weekend.
The weekend. Okay, so a quick little weekend trip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Jason, what'd you guys plan? How'd it go out there?
I thought we had an excellent time, and I was hoping to. I was trying to bring my A game for that weekend. So I'm not gonna. So I planned. We went to dinners, lunches, museums. Went out to some lounges, and then to a show.
Okay. So you're a planner, like you planned everything pretty much.
I'm generally not a planner. I try to play. I try to do things a little spontaneously. But I knew because I was bringing her out and stuff, and I knew she appreciated planning, at least for this. I wanted her to turn off her brain and just have a good time. And I thought we had a very good time. Candy is just a pleasure to be with, and a pleasure to be around. She was great company, and I thought we did get to know each other pretty well during that trip.
Good. Okay. So now after that trip, where are you guys now? Today, are we still getting to know each other? Are we still taking trips to see one another? How's that going?
Well, no.
Uh-oh.
I knew it.
Why? The trip sounded like it went well.
Tension is.
I thought it did, but I got in my head a little bit, I think, and
Okay.
The next day I probably should have gave it a day or two to think and reflect on it more, because I don't know if I was being totally fair to Candy and in her favor. And given that I'm blocked now, I couldn't exactly communicate that to her.
Yo.
But I thought,
Wow.
my expectation was, we were talking every day. There's a palpable tension that sort of builds when you're building a rapport with somebody.
Mhm.
And I thought that was going to manifest itself in something where I could really feel some desire and affection for the things that I was doing. And I thought that I would be able to see that. I thought there would be a lot more connectedness. And what I felt during the trip was that I thought she was trying to create some distance between us. And I'm not accustomed to that, especially when I thought I was acting pretty intentionally, and I thought I was investing in this, and so I thought that she might not be into me, the man. I thought she might be into the value, and I was concerned about that. In the back of my head was the record playing of the mailman and the security guy. What they did, and is this about my profession, or is this about me? And I'm kind of guarded against that, and so. I got on the phone with her and said, I wanted to bring parity back to the situation, and I said, why don't we start from a place of friendship, and try to build off that, because I want you to be with somebody that you don't just like the value, you like the person himself. I want you to be head over heels for whoever you're talking to, and I know Candy's got some DMs now, because I said she is this unbelievable combination of pretty. Sexy and cute all at the same time. I don't know how she pulls that off, but she really does. So she knows it. So
Come on, bro. I mean, she friend zoned you. That's what happened. She friend zoned you. You guys were talking up a storm, texting back and forth, weeks. You flew her out, and she friend zoned you. That's what happened here. And shout outs to him for being, I guess, polite. Okay, diplomatic, if you will, in this exchange here. But let's call it for what it is. She friend zoned you. Okay, she wasn't feeling you. Seems like you dodged a bullet. Okay, based on what I'm seeing so far, I'm just seeing keying from her. She's just smiling from ear to ear. She's not really adding much context here as to what's going on. Okay, it seems like you're doing more talking than she is. And you're really, I guess, bigging her up here a little bit by saying she's beautiful, she's this, she's that. And she's not really saying anything nice about you in return. Okay, just an observation here so far. But let's keep going.
I thought it might be better, maybe I'm moving ahead too full steam, and maybe I should take a step back, manage my expectations, and start from a place of friendship, and then go forward from there.
Okay. So the trip was great, but you felt like she wasn't all into you as a person?
That essentially, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I'm very big on needing to feel desired. I didn't really feel that. I mean, I get around Candy and I'm like, man, I want to be as close to you as possible at all times as possible. She has that energy that sort of brings you in. And
Okay.
I got lulled into that. Now you see the face, I
Come
got
on,
lulled into
man.
that. And so and I was hoping that would be reciprocated to some degree. I've certainly, in my past, I've had things move pretty quickly. If anybody's done online dating knows, you're talking for like a week, and then by the time you meet, it's like, wow, you feel sparks.
Like
And I
you feel
really
like you already know each other.
exactly. And I
Okay.
wanted to feel sparks, and I know I felt the sparks, but I didn't know that if she was feeling the sparks. So I said, okay, let me cool down here a bit. Why don't we start from a place of friendship and go from there?
You're making way too many excuses for her. Okay, she knew what it was when she appeared on the show. Okay, the whole premise of the show is to find love, okay, to find a match. So, two individuals matching on the show, and it seems like this gentleman here was moving with intention. Okay, it seems like he was moving in the direction for a relationship, possible marriage, and she was kind of holding back to the point where he thought he was being friend zoned, and he even positioned it to say, hey, let's start off as friends and build on our friendship. When in reality, they were texting constantly before he flew her out. And it seemed like he was led to believe that it was trending in the direction of possible romance. I'm just saying.
Okay. Candy, let's hear from you.
Well, first, I think the planning was amazing. The things that he planned for us to do were definitely spot on with the things that I enjoy and my interests. So I definitely appreciate that. But like you said, I do feel, things were probably moving at our paces were different.
Okay.
For me, I been in a long-term relationship. I've been hurt before. I am very conscious and aware um, of things that are important. And for me, if I want to be serious with somebody, I don't move at a pace that's fast. I do believe friendship should come first.
She doesn't move at a pace that's fast. Meanwhile, he flew her out and she accepted. Am I missing something?
Friendship is the foundation. So for me, it was let's build a friendship, let's get to know one another, and then let's see where we can go from there. So I do feel like we probably were different as far as Jason kind of jumping in. I don't feel like I jumped in with him when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to that, but that didn't mean that I maybe wouldn't have gotten there eventually. So I do feel like, us establishing let's be friends first was the right direction to go in.
Okay. But is he, like he stated, he feel like you were more so interested in what he can bring than him himself? Is there truth to that?
Not at all. Not at all. First, I didn't ask to come and be flown out. That was something that was offered to me. I did offer to drive, but ultimately, that was something that was offered to me. So it was never, and it's never been in any of my situations about what somebody can give to me. Again, the question was asked, am I high maintenance, materialistic, however you want to phrase it? And I said no, and I meant that. So in getting to know somebody, there are certain expectations that I don't have. But I do appreciate the things that Jason did as far as dinner and us going out and things like that. It's most appreciated. But it's not something that I necessarily expected. So I'm here to get to know somebody for who they are, not for what I feel like I can get out of the situation as far as materialistic, financially, money, that type of thing. That's not that's not who I am. So
Okay. So I know you said, when you're getting to know someone, building a friendship is like the main thing first. So before you went out there on this trip, was that something that was discussed between the two of you? Like, hey, this is just simply us being friends. We're not going to try to even do this with a romantic route. Like, was that a discussion, or was that something you thought he just knew?
that's a great question. As much as we spoke, I don't know that we established that verbatim.
Okay.
For me, it was understood. That's how I felt. Um, and that's not to say that we couldn't have risen to other levels, but initially, that's how I would be with anybody.
Yeah, so that's the problem right there. It wasn't communicated. In her mind, she had a perception of how she is going to maneuver. In his mind, he was looking at how things were progressing. Okay, they were talking constantly, they were building rapport. They were talking about meeting each other and flying each other, or him flying her out, right? Her staying in a hotel, and obviously they met on the Pop the Balloon show, which the whole premise of the show is to find love and to progress in that direction. So for him to think, or for him to have the perception that you guys would be friends and then build from, you know what I mean? Like, why would you assume that's what he would be thinking if it wasn't discussed? I'm just saying, okay, I could understand if you guys discussed it and then he was still pushing the issue. And then, you know what I mean? You could maybe say, well, he wasn't listening to me, but it doesn't sound like you guys had the conversation at all. Okay. And it seems like he was pouring into the situation with high hopes that it would be trending in the right direction.
So maybe, we maybe should have had a conversation more so about that at the beginning. And maybe Jason wouldn't feel the way that he felt, but yeah, we are where we are.
Okay. So when you guys were having like these conversations, talking to each other, prior to you coming out there, even when you guys went on your first date, all that stuff, was it like on a friendly vibe, or were you guys flirting? Like, how was it to where now you guys are both like, oh, we're on two different paths. We didn't know, like we weren't seeing eye to eye on where this was going.
Oh, I'm flirting.
Okay.
He is.
Okay, you're flirting, but she giving it back, or it was always just you?
Candy's so sweet that maybe sometimes it's hard to distinguish between what she's giving off as friendship vibes or what is coming off as flirty vibes. But
Okay.
and I think our own brains want to interpret it the way we want to perceive it,
Mm.
and the way we hope that it's being perceived. So, I think actually I'm being a little facetious. I think it was a healthy combination of both. It's exactly the type of communication I think you want when you're really getting to know somebody. It's this combination of we're getting to know each other, we're learning about each other, there's flirtation there. And so that was my perception of our communication.
Okay. So what led to you being blocked? You mentioned
I
you're
think I
blocked
blocked
now.
you.
Girl, I can show you. I can show you my text message right now because I texted you the next day. Are you mad at me? Because I saw that you unfollowed me. I saw that I was blocked on WhatsApp, text messages, and I was removed from the group chat. Now,
Wow.
I actually respected
chat.
that level of pettiness because I was like, that is funny.
Not the group chat.
That's Kenny has removed you from the group chat. I was like, all right, I respect that level of pettiness.
Kenny, what happened?
Nasty work.
How do we get to this?
So from the conversation that we had, we were discussing a group trip. And from what Jason shared with me, I felt as if he would not be interested in being in the group trip. So there's no need to be a part of the group chat, which is what we talk about. So that is why he was removed. But I don't have an issue with you. You're not blocked. You can text me right now. You're not blocked.
All right.
This is crazy.
So you said you texted her, "Are you mad at me?"
Maybe I'm telling tales out of school. I won't go too far into how I ascertained whether or not I was blocked or not. It did appear from my perception that I was blocked across multiple platforms, but I maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe something happened. You know how these phones be sometimes, or how the
I don't know. My phone always works.
All right, I'm trying to start.
Y'all got to tell me because my phone always works.
Yo, the gaslighting is crazy. Absolutely crazy. He was blocked on multiple platforms. Okay, WhatsApp, Instagram. What else did he say? Text message, right? And she's here looking at him like, what are you talking about? Trying to pretend at least. I mean, she knows what's up. She blocked him. Man, he's putting on these kitty gloves, trying to be nice. And I get it, bro's a lawyer and he has to keep it professional. But I mean, come on, man. This is ridiculous. You flew her out, dropped the bag on her, and she blocked you? Really?
So did you not get a reply when you sent a text? Is that what happened?
I got the little exclamation mark, like it won't go through. And then, you guys reached out about doing this, and I wanted to kind of clear the air with her. So I tried to send a message on Instagram, and that didn't go through. So I was like, okay. But maybe multiple platforms went down at the same time. Immediately following that conversation.
Candy, let me find out you just unblocked them because of this. Is that what happened?
Oh, wait. Oh, God.
Is that what happened, Candy?
When this
Not
call
even saying anything.
Because we're trying to know. He said he was blocked. He sent you a few messages that didn't go through. Did you just recently unblock him?
No, you're not blocked. I don't know if it's your service. I don't know.
Big cap.
But you're not blocked. I don't
Okay.
have a
So
reason.
what was the last conversation you guys had then?
That conversation I described the day after she left, where I had indicated that maybe we should start from a place of friendship.
Okay.
And we left it at that. And I feel like during that conversation, I did not give her a fair hearing. And I thought that was why perhaps there was the reaction there was the day before, because she actually caught me off guard during that conversation. Candy cut me off if you don't want me to talk about any of this, but she had indicated, so are you making the decision for us? And that gave me pause because I had to think about it, and I was just really, I can be quite decisive, and I don't want to make the decision for two people, but I don't know any other way other than to express how I feel, and then if how I feel is going to lead to an incongruity between how we think we should go forward, then I suppose it's me making the decision. But I was kind of at a loss, and actually reflected on that in the days following that, and I was like, maybe we're just different. Maybe I didn't take the time to get to know her enough in this particular way to truly understand where she was coming from. And I said during the show, I look inward first, and I really do. And so I started thinking, damn, what did I jump the gun here a little bit? So I do apologize to Candy to the extent that I did for that, and to the extent that she did block me. Not saying you did. I would say that would be a reasonable reaction, especially if your perception of how things went was different from mine from that conversation. So I appreciate the fact that I'm unblocked or never was, depending on how we look at it. And yes, internet, I know I'm talking too much.
You're right, Jason. Okay. So, you guys decided, or Jason, you said, we're going to be friends, and that was it? Never again spoke again after that?
Correct.
But why? If you're going to be friends, shouldn't the conversation continue?
Well, that's what I thought. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
The more I learn here, the more I'm realizing he dodged a massive bullet. And it seems like no matter what he did, she was either just not responding to it or just, I don't even know. Right? I don't even know. I'm not getting much out of her from this interview. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like she's saying something, but she's not really saying anything at the same damn time. Okay, she's just smiling from ear to ear, and I'm not really getting much context here. Okay, I'm not getting much meat and potatoes as to what's really going on or what she's thinking. So hopefully I'm able to gather more here before this video is over. But let's keep going.
Let's hear from you.
So initially I felt that we had a good time throughout the weekend, and I could understand that we were moving at different paces.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel, and it's something that I brought up to Jason, I'm very transparent. I felt as if the fact that he brought me out, had a good time, the fact that I did not engage in certain activities, that he decided, okay, let's just be friends. So that was something for me. I am not that type of girl, and he shared with me that he felt as if I was, one of his concerns was that I was too wholesome. To each his own. That's how you feel.
Try to
But
clap the cheeks, or?
I am a woman of standard, and I make decisions that are best for me. And so in the conversation that we had, I expressed that. And ultimately, that's why I initially felt that's why he said what he said and made the decision that he made for us. The conversation wasn't necessarily about how I feel. It was, I've thought about this, and this is what it is. So yeah, that's kind of how it went. And feeling the way that I felt, I didn't know if this was a friendship that I could engage in or continue. From my perspective of things. So, yeah, we haven't really had a conversation since then, but I don't have an issue.
So did homie try to clap the cheeks? Is that what happened here? Did he fly her out and try to bust a move, and then she ultimately said, nah, I'm not with that. Okay, all this cheek clapping, yeah, I didn't sign up for that. So maybe that's what's going on here. That might put things into perspective here, but let's keep going.
I don't have an issue. I just feel like we were on different pages, and that's why in the episode, I believe I was speaking to Demetrius, but communication is so important because you never know what the other person is thinking, how they're perceiving things. So it is important to express how you feel, and be very clear on what your intentions are.
Yeah, but it sounds like, again, she never really had the communication that she's referring to, that she's so great at, I guess, to say, hey, I want to be friends. Before I go out here, I want to be friends. This is how I operate. This is how I move. Are you with it or not?
So in the moment when these activities were brought up or discussed, whatever it was, I'm not sure, you expressed to him like, oh, you know, I move at a slower pace. This is something I'm not going to do. And then what happened? Like, I don't know. We're just confused how you guys had a great trip and then now you're not talking.
I just want to clear the air. So the activity was nothing too nefarious. All right. There was, on the last night, I asked if I could have a goodnight kiss, and I was rebuffed. So that wasn't, we're not talking about,
Kiss?
something more indiscreet than that.
A kiss.
Okay.
We're talking about a kiss here. I'm more confused. Is that what the fuss is about? Okay, the fuss and the hoopla is about a kiss. He asked for a kiss and things spiraled out of control for you. I don't know, man. This sounds like there was a lot of mixed signals in this situation. A kiss. I still can't get over that. A kiss. But let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, do you guys agree with her, I guess, her standards, you know, what she's saying here? Or is she just blowing this out of proportion? Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, that we had I had indicated that I think she might be too wholesome, and we had a discussion about our sort of spiritual backgrounds and so forth, and I understood where she was coming from. But that wasn't something that was an issue for me, and she assured me that she is somebody that is adventurous in terms of, when I say wholesome, I'm talking about, can you have adventure? Are you somebody that we can have fun with? We can do things that involve risk, stuff like that, because I'm a very adventurous person. And
Okay.
she sort of assured me that, she's right there with me. So I was hoping that a friendship could ensue from that, and communication would have definitely been helpful to make sure that we were on the same page with what we were both thinking about, because I don't want anything projected onto me or my intentions being misunderstood in any way.
Okay. All right. Well, any final thoughts between the two of you? I know you guys haven't spoken in a while, but any final thoughts?
That's it.
Okay.
Yo,
I'm
that
still
smile
confused
is like-
here, and I know people are gonna be like, "What are these two even talking about?" Because I don't know what you
Yo.
guys are even talking about. But any projects you guys are working on, anything you be on the lookout, you know, you want to discuss, whatever it is.
I mean, no, I have a children's YouTube channel, Candy's Clubhouse. Check it out.
That's so awesome.
I read. I do read alouds for children, so obviously virtual, electronically. So yeah, I love the babies. So check it out.
Of course we will. Jason, what about you?
I'm just doing my law thing. So if you got an issue, you can, of course, hit me up, and happy to take a look at it if you're within my practice area. Also, people were hitting me up after the show. People visited my Instagram, and they noticed that I try to do these photorealistic drawings, pencil drawings. And I'm always looking for new inspiration for that. And some people express some interest in that. So if you do have an interest in having me draw something or something like that, I need an original photograph. All right. An original photograph that nobody else has. All right. You can DM that, and I can draw inspiration from that. And then we can discuss about composition and things like that if that's something you're interested in. But otherwise, that's just kind of a hobby. But I appreciate you asking, Arlette.
Okay. So now after this catch up, are you guys gonna talk, or it's just that's the end of it? That's the end of Jason and Candy.
I don't know if we have closure, so I'll probably reach out, and if Candy's interested in hearing from me, then it won't be the end of the story. And if she's not, I perfectly understand. And I wish her the best in all her future endeavors. She's a beautiful woman, amazing in many respects, and who she was on camera is exactly who she was in person. So I very much appreciate the time that we spent together. If that is the end of the road, and if not, I look forward to what the future holds.
Candy, you answering his call?
I'll answer his call.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
I can't. All
You
right,
see why I'm
guys.
confused all the time with this, though,
I'm
right?
confused with you, Jason. I don't know what's going on.
Stay to continue. But that's all right. That's my cross to bear.
You're not alone. I'm confused with you. I'm sitting here wondering what's going on. But honestly, I wish you two the best of luck in everything you do. And I do thank you for coming on today as well. And everyone at home, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you all next time.
All right, guys, there you have it. Okay, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, again, I think he dodged a massive bullet here. Okay, he was moving with good intentions. Okay, he was a gentleman the whole time, trying to figure out how to make her comfortable and, position himself where he can grow this. He was trying to be thoughtful and plan activities that she would like. Okay, he was doing all the right things to move with good intentions. Okay, and it seems like she was throwing roadblocks in the situation. Okay, more than usual. Now, I don't know if there's past trauma there, or, you know, she's still hurting from her past situation, but this is a brand new situation. Okay. This is a clean slate, and he was moving with the intent to make this grow. Okay. Now, I could understand if you saw some sort of red flags or something along the lines where it made you feel uncomfortable, but based on the information that's being presented to us, I didn't hear anything. I did not hear anything. Not one red flag, not one thing stood out to me where I could say, okay, she has a point. So my question is, why appear on the show? Why appear on the show if you're just looking for a friendship? Okay, why not just say out the gate, I want a friendship. I want a friendship, and maybe, just maybe, it could blossom into something else. Okay, but when you're texting somebody every single day, you're building up the rapport, you're building up the tension, you're agreeing to get flown out, okay, staying in a hotel. He ain't doing this for nothing, right? He ain't doing this for nothing. There's a end goal here that he's looking for. It seems like the guys that appear on the show are more serious than the women that appear on the show. Every single time you see doctors, lawyers, engineers, professionals, entrepreneurs, okay, small business owners, okay, you see guys time and time again looking for love, looking for a companion. You know, if you're a guy out here that is doing something for himself, building himself up, Pop the Balloon Show might not be a good fit for you, okay, just based on the women that appear on the show, kind of positioning yourself for failure. You really are, right? Because tens of millions of people are going to watch the show. They're going to ask you what happened. You're going to get the scrutiny from public opinion. We've seen guys get fired allegedly from their jobs, and, their life flipped upside down. Okay, so on and so forth. Yeah, I don't think the risk is worth the possible reward. I'm just saying. And time again, you see chicks that appear on the show, they're not that serious, to the point where guys on the show are left scratching their heads.